Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney,
And I'm MK.
and how are ya?
I'm okay. I uh I had my mini moon last weekend. Dan and I went to a cottage cabin apartment. It was a condo, I don't know. Um and by the lake, and it was really pretty. Like the lake was frozen and it was pretty. It was a very interesting weekend. Some things were like super great and some things were like really terrible. The couch was one of the least comfortable couches ever,
Oh,
but the bed was super comfortable and the blankets were so soft and fuzzy that I almost stole them.
did you just like take a picture of the tag so you could repurchase it?
Uh, your microphone sounds weird now.
Oh, oh, because it's unplugged. Hold on, hold on.
Okay. But to answer your question, no, I did not take a picture, but I did look at the tag and it said they were from Walmart. So like it should not be that hard
Mm,
to find them.
yeah. Do I sound
Um,
normal again?
yes.
Cool.
Um, Also, in the Airbnb, like it said that the kitchen would be stocked with like oils and spices for cooking and everything. However, I don't think that they stock it often, um, because the only oil was coconut oil, which is
That's
like
like fourth or
barely a,
fifth round for
yeah,
cooking.
like barely a cooking oil.
Right.
And then in terms of seasoning, they had salt, but no pepper. And then they had
Basics.
then
Basics.
and then they had cinnamon. Um, and cayenne powder,
I mean, okay, I cook with cayenne.
and that's it.
Yeah, you do need more than that.
And like so we had like brought stuff to cook with us, but then like didn't end up cooking any of it because we were like basics, we need pepper and garlic, like
Right.
and an oil that is not coconut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was interesting. So we brought home almost as much food as we brought with us. Um, We also we just like played a lot of games. Dan kicked my ass at most of them. Um, so I did retaliate by making him play a never-ending game of war with me for like a good hour. I was like, listen, I'm never playing Rummy with you ever again, but I will play war. And he was like, this game's never gonna end. I go, keep going. I literally was like, we're not done. Just go.
Poor Dan.
And then what's worse is when we left on Monday morning, I left my stuffed cow that Dan gave me there, and then texted the host, and she was like, oh my God, like I'm so sorry, like that's awful. She was like, she was like, let me go into the computer and make sure that your code goes till the end of the day today and you can go back at any point and go get him. Like that's fine. But that meant we had to drive back.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's tough.
But I also brought all of my like stuff with me as if I was gonna like put the podcast up while we were there. Surely did not. Don't know
We didn't
why.
even schedule that.
Well, I didn't post anything on Sunday.
Oh, you meant to like post
To
the podcast. I
up
thought you meant
post
to record the
no,
podcast.
like to post the
Yeah.
podcast. So then I
Mhm.
posted it on Tuesday and was like,
I did see that. I
sorry.
did see that. Yeah.
Was not for lack of did I thought about it. And then I did nothing. I was like, the whole point of
Yeah.
this was to disconnect.
To
Like
relax. Yeah.
to just be with each other and not like I didn't answer. A bunch of people texted me, never answered any of them.
Good for you.
I was like, that's fine. This is not. I did keep my Snapchat streaks up, but like I like snapped a picture of the wall
Not
when I woke.
mine.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to ours. I don't know what happened. Um,
Mm.
but I like snapped a picture of the wall when I woke up and then promptly never looked at my phone again. Like,
Yeah.
no. It was very nice and relaxing. However, I then was in like a super vacation relaxing mode and continued to then do nothing all day, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mhm.
And now I'm fucked for the week. So
Right, right, right. That's how that goes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is the treachery of taking a vacation.
is that you want to actually be on vacation instead of still
Mhm.
working?
Right. And then
So
you
rude.
want to continue doing that when you can't anymore.
So
Yeah,
rude. But like I'm
I
on
know.
vacation from work. I shouldn't be working, but I am.
Eh,
The problem is that everything I have to do is for work and I'm off of
right.
work, so I shouldn't
I
have to do
know.
anything.
Right, right. Yeah.
Stupid. But it's
I
fine.
mean, it's
I'm
okay.
here. I'm here. I look like Snow White.
You do. You do.
And that's where we're at. It'll be great.
I love
How
it.
are
I love it.
you?
I'm fine. I think I don't know if I said this before the last podcast or did the last podcast about my bathroom basically being a horror movie with my lights going out.
Yes.
My hall light just went out. I walked in, I turned it on, and it made that like buzzing sound and then just went
Oh,
out. And I was like, cool. So
great.
that one I can't reach. I can't actually reach the one in my bathroom. I just keep not doing it. But I cannot reach my hall light. So Nick's gonna have to come change it.
Great. Love
Or one
that.
of my excess tall friends that live near me. I don't know. Not me. I can't reach it. I'm okay though. I'm theoretically gonna make chicken tonight. I did pull it out of the fridge and it is
Okay.
mostly thawed. I have a Thai peanut chicken recipe
Nice.
from Home Chef. I was like, what did I order from? But I don't know how much of the stuff is still good because I think it came in 2 weeks ago. Could have been last week though. Who's to say? So we'll
I,
see.
I just realized that like Dan and I have a lot of food
Mhm.
and we're not gonna be home for like anything. So I feel like I'm gonna have to like spend all day Sunday cooking to like meal prep for the whole week because otherwise
Yeah.
I'm gonna not eat anything healthy for
Yeah,
the
that would be a
entire
good idea.
week.
I mean, that's with me, but it's just been because I've been stressed. So I'm like, I gotta eat like a real food. And then like when I didn't feel good earlier today, I was like, I'm devolving. I'm not doing well. I need to
Yeah,
like
but I also
have a
thought
vegetable.
I also thought that we weren't doing tech until the following week, not next week. And so I think I'm supposed to get a HelloFresh next week, which today is the day to cancel it if I don't want it. But I think I'm mad because I think I really liked the meals I picked out for next week.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. Fucking, I'm still getting it. I don't care.
Do it. Do it. Yeah. So
Because
like my
the
chicken
the
is still
home
good.
style chicken and biscuit pot pie and
Mm,
a mango salsa tilapia are on my list for next week. I'm not skipping that.
love. No. I have skipped a lot because I have too many meals in my fridge that have not been cooked.
Well, we bought a shit ton of meat. So we have like 8 pork chops plus 3 HelloFreshes in the fridge right now. And we're going to my parents for dinner tomorrow.
Yeah, I will theoretically eat dinner tomorrow here. Which is probably a lie. I'm probably gonna go to Sonic before I go to Rachel's if we're honest. Because she's going out of town, so I'm going to like sit with the dog for a bit tomorrow. Um, but I don't know. So I'm gonna try and cook something. I'm just behind on everything, even though doing I'm doing more than a normal person should do in a day, and I'm still behind on everything,
Yeah.
which is the problem. Like I did work 6.5 hours today, and I will have plenty of time to get my other hour and a half in I need to get for my 8 hours. And I watched a 4 hour lecture today. You're supposed to watch one a day, but I need to watch three today. So, like, in the grand scheme of life, I did it correctly.
Yeah.
However, that is not my
However,
life.
no.
And so I'm just, holding it together. But yeah, so I'm gonna make this Thai peanut chicken because like um do I sound normal again?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So like peanuts are fine.
Yeah.
Peanut butter is fine. It's like a peanut butter sauce. Like
Yeah.
that's fine. The chicken is fine. But like we'll see if the broccoli is still good. Like
Yeah.
not feeling but I do have some frozen broccoli, so like I could still have some broccoli. It's just frozen.
Right, yeah.
Although we had frozen broccoli at Rachel's the other night, I think it was Maker's Mark's Costco. Is that Costco or Sam's?
Sam's.
Sam's. Okay. So it's from Sam's. I think this is from the same bag. It was really good broccoli, but like a frozen broccoli. So
Yeah.
like if that's the one I have to default to, not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world, yeah.
And it's like 4 minutes in the microwave, so pretty easy. Um, but yeah, I was trying to think of anything I've done since we've spoken. And I think it's just been Spiral. I think that's all I've done since we've spoken. I've gone to work. I've thrown off my entire work balance,
Good.
not with me, but with everyone else that I work with.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, we talked about me changing days
Yeah.
to make more sense.
Yeah.
Like last week, I went on Friday because my coworker didn't go in, so I went in because somebody needed to be there. And so
Okay.
this week, I was like, gotta do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like we talked about. It's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. And Wednesday rolls around. Everyone's shocked I'm there. And my coworker is not there.
Mhm.
So I was like, so also she's not here. So I would be there anyways. So I told them if I could work on a day she's not in, I would come in.
Mhm.
And like I worked the whole day. Like there was stuff to be done. But like everyone was just like shocked I was there. And I was like, I don't understand what's
Yeah.
going on. I don't understand why this is a hard concept. I do understand that I am not here every day. And that really seems to bother everyone. However,
Mhm.
I've told you all I'm here 3 days. What those 3 days are going to be the ones that are the most effective for everyone.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem to compute somehow. And I'm like, do you want me to be here on the days when there is no work and we're all just sitting around? Are those the days you want me here? I don't want to be here for that.
Yeah. Mm.
So, um, yeah, but I don't know. I just am here and clearly cannot think straight because that's
Yeah.
why I'm just trailing off all of these thoughts I'm having.
Yeah.
So if you could give me a little inspiration,
Yeah.
joy, I don't know.
Unfortunately, we're on a front half of an
Mm,
episode. So, when you were a
great.
kid, it was Halloween candy. You hid it from your parents and ate it until you got sick. In college, it was the heady combo of youth, tequila, and, well, as a surgeon, you take as much of the good as you can get because it doesn't come around nearly as often as it should. Because good things aren't always what they seem. Too much of anything, even love, is not always a good thing.
Girl, I'm here to tell you it's not.
No, which
It's
actually,
not. That's
I
the
was
truth.
like, as I'm reading it, I'm like, the whole point of problem is that we're having too much of things. So,
Mm,
and even though they're not bad things.
I don't know.
Well, your bar prep is bad things, but
I'm having a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things happening
but even
in
your
my
good
corner.
things, even your good things, your Friday, Saturday nights being forced to have friends.
I know. It's good for me.
It's
It's
good for
good for my
you,
depression.
but too much of it can sometimes be like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. It's a real bummer.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's like the one part of the week that kind of like pulls me back into like
Yeah.
my
Yeah, yeah,
real
yeah.
life when the rest of it is like, why?
Yeah, no, I feel that way about my reading time, which I haven't been doing a lot this week. And like Chrissy finished Throne of Glass and she texted me about it today. And she was like, and I couldn't wait till Sora was ready, so I already bought Crown of Midnight on my Kindle. And I was like, I am so jealous. So jealous of you. There's no reason why I haven't read. Like, I haven't done anything else.
Yeah. Well, I have done everything else and I am jealous because I just keep carrying around um oh Anne Larry, what's her name? I don't know her name. I forgot her name. Oh, I've removed it from my bag. I don't know. Anne Larry, Dennis Leary's wife.
Oh yeah,
Her
yeah,
book.
yeah. The essays one.
Yeah, I just keep carrying it around in the hopes that one day
Yeah.
maybe I'll get to read one of them. And
So,
so far I have
so
not
far, no.
read them. Since we've spoken last, I've not read a physical book. I've listened to some audiobooks, but I haven't read a physical book since we've spoken. But that's okay because we're not here to talk about books. We're here to talk about Hannibal. And praise the Lord, we are talking about Hannibal today because we are back. This is the show we signed up for.
Yes.
The viewers kind of understand that, but that's what we're here for. We are talking about Hannibal season 3, episode 9, and the woman clothed with the sun. which I do know is a reference to like a painting that sounds miserable.
It does sound miserable.
Like, I don't like being hot. Sounds miserable. Um, so it aired August 1st of 2015, and it was rated 8.2 out of 10, which I think was the same as last week or like right about.
Okay.
I think that's in a different notebook. I've just remembered, so who's to say? But like it's a little bit lower than the last couple episodes, and this one actually felt like Hannibal again, so everyone's wrong. The number one song is still Cheerleader by OMI.
Yeah.
The number one movie is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Um,
Okay.
and the number one book is Ghost of a Watchman by Harper Lee. So like I remember this time well. I remember when all of these things were popular. It
Nice.
was a time to be
Okay.
alive.
I do vaguely
Um,
remember that too, mostly because I was really mad that that book exists.
yeah. I never read it.
I just know that she never intended to post it, so, or to publish it.
See, I didn't know if she never intended to publish it or she just hadn't done it yet.
Yeah, she did not want to publish it.
Mm, cool, cool, cool.
Cool, cool,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, super
that's
great.
a bummer. Um, yeah. So where was I at? So on this day, a lot of random things happen, and so I just have a lot of notes, and then I decided that I didn't like most of them. So here we
That's
are.
great.
Um, there was a new Ebola vaccine that was proven to be 100% effective, which I'm
Oh,
pretty sure is not a true fact because I don't think
yeah.
anything is 100% effective in
It,
medicine.
no, no, I
Um,
don't think so.
so I guess great job, but you're lying. The This was also when Jon Stewart announced his last lineup of guests because his last episode was the 8th, which was, the next week. And so his last lineup of guests were Louis C.K., Amy Schumer, and Dennis Leary,
Oh,
my
perfect.
new
Look at that.
favorite's husband.
Yeah.
Um, and last but certainly not least, the Olympics were supposed to be in Boston in 2024, which I did not realize, but they got in a fight with the mayor or something. And so this is when they announced that they were not going to be having it. And they had three different cities lined up to look at for 2024.
Great.
So obviously we did not make it back to Boston in 24.
No, no, we
Uh,
did not. Oh, wait,
but
hold
yeah,
on. What day? August 1st?
first.
Wow. My Facebook status said, just says, keep talking shit. You're cute. Don't know what it
You
was
were in a
about.
fight mood.
I was. And Mandy said, you didn't even text me. And I said, girl, I don't need you killing a bitch. And she said, LOL, still. No idea who I was ready to fight.
Everyone maybe.
Mm. No, actually, I do know who I was gonna fight.
Ooh, tell me the tea.
Because I was in Rochester that weekend. Oh my God, I know exactly.
Mm.
Okay. I was in Rochester for, so one of my theater professors passed away during my senior year, but
Mhm.
like in like May of my, after I had already graduated. But so then we had a memorial for her in Rochester in August in that summer. So I went to Rochester for the weekend in the summer. And um no, that would have been 2014.
Mhm.
Why was I
Sure would have
in
been.
But I was in Rochester for the weekend in 2015 for something. I was
You have
probably
friends there.
I was probably with Wayne, but um I'm fairly confident whoever was talking shit about me was Casey, Jimmy's ex-girlfriend. Pretty confident I was trying to fight Jimmy's girlfriend that weekend.
That really lines up.
It does. It was either
Mhm.
that or Nick's wife that I was trying to fight.
I was thinking Nick's wife.
But I was in
When you first said
Rochester.
it,
Well, yes, but I was in Rochester, which is why I think it was Jimmy's girlfriend, but it was either Jimmy's
I thought
girlfriend or Nick's wife. I was definitely trying to fight one of them.
I thought Nick lived in Rochester.
No, 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 he's here. Yeah.
Hmm. I've had confusion somewhere.
Mm.
but it's okay.
Yeah, but
It's
so
all
I was either trying to fight Jimmy's girlfriend or Nick's wife.
right. I was getting ready to start law school.
But I also was trying to buy cupcakes. That was on one of my
Mm.
other posts was about the cupcake place in Rochester that I love.
Cakes are much better. God, I could kill for a cupcake right now.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I was like getting ready to move to New Orleans
Mm.
for the first time. And here we are 10 years later,
Yeah.
doing well again.
What is that?
Stupid. It's stupid. Anyways, so that is all of the things that happened on this day.
Yeah.
Our director is not new, although I did think he was new, so I took a lot of notes on him and then realized we've already talked about him.
Right.
Our director is John Dahl, and he is not new, but he did only do one episode in season one. He directed episode 10, which was Buffet Freud, which was the first episode we saw Georgia in.
Okay.
And so I don't need to tell you all of this other information I've written
Written
down about
down.
him because I've probably already told you. Our writers are Jeff Laming, Steve Lightfoot, and we do have a new writer who's Helen
Okay.
Sharp. And she is just wild. I love her. She is
Great.
known for mostly being a producer, but she was a producer on Rings of Power, 13 Reasons Why, An Arrangement, and The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Okay. All
She
big
was a
hitters.
writer, right? All big hitters. She was a writer on the new Hawaii Five-O.
Okay.
Um, so she only did this is the only episode she wrote of Hannibal.
Okay.
However, she's just like a wonderful person. She was inspired to write by watching the X-Files.
Done.
That's what like caused her creative spark.
Same.
She's a
Just kidding. I've
huge
never watched
Bowie
the
fan.
X-Files.
I've started. I'll go back. She's a huge Bowie fan,
Who is
which is
it?
always a fun time. And she found her manager, favorite fact, found her manager through Medium, like the website. And like
It took me a
so,
minute. It took me a minute to process that Medium
but I
was the
did say
website.
a Medium.
And yeah, no, I know Medium, the website, but it took me a minute to process that because my first thought was a medium, like
Right.
the person who talks to dead people, and I was like, her manager is dead. And then I was like, no, maybe she didn't mean that. Maybe she meant the TV show Medium about people who talk to dead
Yeah,
people.
there are a lot.
That would make more sense. And then I was like,
Yeah,
it still doesn't make sense.
right. No, yeah. So I learned today that there's a like one of the pages on there is called the Blacklist, and I guess a lot of writers are on it. And I have not done a deep dive rabbit hole on it to see one if it's still active or two if I can join it. But it is on my list.
Okay.
Because I do pay for my $5 a month Medium subscription. So because I do have this dream that I'll go back to writing one day. So just a doll, just adore her.
Love
I
that.
want to watch everything. And she really doesn't have like a ton of credits. But they're big, the one she does. So it's just bonkers. But yeah, Hannibal, I think was one of the first things she worked on. Like she hasn't been doing it that long either.
Okay.
And then I was like, where's my other one? I had to put it on a different page because I ran out of space. Our guest star of the week is Rutina Weasley. And she plays Reba McLean. Reba McLean. I cannot read my own handwriting. I knew her name. I was like, that is not a name.
No.
Reba McLean.
Yeah.
She is known for Arrow. She plays Liza Warner, Queen
Okay.
Sugar, 13 Sins, and True Blood.
Okay.
She plays Tara. So I have recently restarted True Blood. I've watched like 3 episodes. I don't know, not a lot. But I read all the Sticky Stackhouse series.
Yes.
Absolutely adore it.
I know you love that book series.
I do. And so I tried to restart the show again, but it's just like it's a little too dark to watch at night. But it's a little bit too intense to watch during the day when I need to be doing other things.
Right.
So like I can't find the timing. But I do like it. It's taken me a minute. And also it's set in like not Shreveport, but it's in Shreveport and their accents are a little bit to get past. And I just don't love Anna Paquin. Just don't. Here to say it.
Honestly, I don't either.
Not a fan. I don't think she does great in anything she's in.
Yeah.
But
I hated her in
whatever.
X-Men.
Yep, absolutely. But she's doing well. I don't wish her unwell. I just don't enjoy watching her.
Now I'm trying to think about it. Has she ever done anything I didn't dislike her in?
No, because I watched some other movie where she played a Southern character, and it wasn't a terrible movie, but I didn't even really like the movie either. But she went great at it. Um, she did something else when she was younger, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah. So she plays Tara though, and I do love Tara. And I was like, why do I recognize her? That's why.
Mm.
Um, so she splits her time between LA and Astoria. So maybe we've crossed paths. I've spent a lot of time in Astoria lately.
Not lately.
Not lately, but I don't know how long she's lived there. She did have a partner that lived in New Orleans, but only till 2019. So like also could have crossed paths here, I guess, because they
Yeah.
were together 2015 to 2019. I was here 2015 to like 2018. Um, her father, so she was born in Vegas. Her father was a well-known tap dancer, and her mom was a Vegas showgirl. So it's in
Um,
her blood.
I lied. There's one thing that Anna Paquin's been in that I really, really liked, and I liked her in it.
Hmm. Ooh.
Fly Away Home.
Is that an anime?
No, it's the movie.
What's that?
It's the movie from when we were kids with the girl who helped the d geese fly.
I knew there was something she was in when she was younger.
Yes.
I don't know that if I've seen it or not.
Okay. Yeah, as a kid, she was the main girl in that movie about helping the geese fly home. And Dan and I actually weirdly had a conversation about the movie last week about how we really liked it. Um, but yes, so the last time she was in a movie that I liked was 25 years ago. Yes.
Bless her heart. Um, yeah, that's a bummer. But it's okay. We're talking about Rutina, and
Yeah.
we like her.
Yes.
She attended Juilliard. She was also in a Broadway play called The Vertical Hour.
I've heard of that.
Um, and one of her earliest scenes acting was she was supposed to be in a really small scene in Hitch, and last minute it got cut from the film,
Oh,
and it was really sad for her. Um, that is our guesty star. So
nice.
now let's get into the episode.
Okay.
So we start where we left off with Hannibal and Will chatting away. And he's talking about if Will got the note and if he read it or if he just burned it. And Will's like, I did get it. I did read it. I did burn it. Like, yes, all of those
Is
things.
this, am I imagining? Never mind. I'm imagining something. I
Okay.
there was an episode of The West Wing that we watched this week that the first 3 minutes were the exact same 3 minutes as the last episode. Like instead of being like a previously on, they
Uh-huh.
literally just like replayed the entire scene. And for some reason I thought it was this episode of Hannibal. And I was like,
Well,
did
they
I?
did that too. It wasn't like full 3 minutes, but it was like a minute
Okay. Where
when
they
they
just like
first got there.
replayed the actual word for word conversation from the episode
Yeah, but
before.
it was like it was like he said something about like Will getting there, and then he says, "Hello, Will," and he says, "Hello, Dr. Lecter." So like it was a
Okay.
really short
It was a
snip,
really
but it
short,
was like
okay,
exactly
but
the
I didn't
same.
imagine there was an
Yeah,
episode of The
yeah.
West Wing that it was a much longer segment that got replayed. But so then I was like, wait, did I imagine that? But
Yeah,
no.
yeah, no, no, no,
Okay.
no, no. No, it was
Okay.
just shorter. Um, yeah. And so then he's talking about like Will visited him. He said all of his callers are more professional. He said, like he doesn't have any personal callers.
I
And
can't imagine why.
because you killed everyone you know. And he says, and so he keeps calling him Dr. Lecter, and he's like, are we not on a first name basis anymore? And Will's like, I'm more comfortable this way. And like, yeah, bro, you tried to kill him and everyone he knows. What do you mean? You're not friends. Um,
Oh my God.
so
Sorry,
then
and this
he's
jumps ahead, but at one point he literally was like, don't you remember I gave you a child? Yeah, and
yeah,
then you
because
killed her.
right, because he tells him he's still analyzing Will, even though Will's asking questions. And
Yeah.
he's like, is there a child in your life? And then this is where he starts talking about like, what is it, a girl or boy child? And then he's like, oh, it's a boy because then you don't feel any guilt, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, do you remember that one time I gave you a child? And it's like, that's not a normal thing you say to people.
No.
Like, you
No.
don't, and also don't give children to people. Like, ick. Um, and but the whole time, Will is just ignoring him. He's staying on this like Chicago and Buffalo murders and just trying to get
Uh-huh.
the facts. He's just trying to like hold it together.
Yeah.
And so they start discussing the file. Um, And then he tells Will that he's family. And then we go to a flashback and we go, did you think that we were going to a scene with Abigail? Because I thought she was gone. I thought we were done with Abigail.
I, yeah, I was very confused because for a second I was like, wait, is this bitch actually alive? And they just been
Oh
fucking
no.
with me for the whole season? Like,
No,
what is
she's real
happening
dead.
here? And then
Um,
I figured out how far in the past
mhm.
the flashback was. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Sorry, this one's like hitting something and it's loud. Um, yeah, no, it's a flashback, and we go to Hannibal and Abigail before he doesn't kill her. So we're in like the house near the cabin, and he starts talking about like a blood ritual that's basically a symbolic death. And he says, as everyone goes through life, you either evolve or die. I do not remember who said that. That is a famous quote, though. Um,
I believe it.
but I have forgotten who said that. And so then
Probably someone I don't like because that just seems like something sociopathic.
it does. Well, it feels like Darwinian, but I don't think it was Darwin that said it. Um, but then Abigail starts asking Hannibal how he would have killed her if he was going to kill her. And he was like, "Oh, the same way your dad did. I'd slit your throat." And she's like, "Oh, but you're not my father." And he's like, "Yeah, but you accepted him for all his flaws. What about me?" I was like, "These are not the same. Hannibal, you are so delusional. Like, it is so wild." Um, and so he tells her that they have to do this. He has to take some flesh, but just a piece, not a pound. And that's a reference to the Merchant of Venice. So we have a lot of
Yes.
references here and there.
Um,
Um,
the only thing I can find of the quote about evolving or dying is from Eckhart Tolle,
could be.
which, but also, but also there's like a lot of weird like man blogs that use that as articles for motivational speeches, and so I
Maybe
don't
that's why
know.
I've heard it. It's
Maybe,
one of
yeah.
those like what is it, alpha male
Yeah,
phrases.
yeah.
It
Which is
probably
so funny
is.
because Eckhart Tolle is
Not that.
not that at
Yeah.
all.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah, so now she's like, "Can I push the button?" And she's spraying her blood like it's coming out of her throat on all of the walls to make it seem like she's dead.
Some people would really, really benefit from serious, serious psychiatric drugs. Because I
Mhm.
was going to say therapy, but clearly, with the therapists that exist in this universe, that's not a good idea.
Bro. And some of the therapists that exist in this universe that we live in, also not great.
I know. But the three main psychiatrists that we know are
Yeah.
Hannibal, Alana, and Chilton. None of them
Yeah.
are helping you.
Not great. Not great. Um,
Oh, sorry, I forgot Bedelia, who's also definitely not going to help you.
Also not good. Yeah. Also not a great one. Yeah. And so this is where we get the credits.
Which is a very long time before the credits.
It's
I
a very
was,
long
I,
time. And I thought it was really strange to bring Abigail back. And I was like, are we doing this again? But honestly, I kind of like that we went back to like fill in the blanks.
I did too. I did too. I actually really liked all the flashback scenes in this
Yeah.
episode. Um, but again, I think the reason I like the flashback scenes in this episode is because it re-centers the story on Hannibal and
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah. Because like we didn't have to have them. Like, but I do think that they were good to have. Like
Yeah.
I liked having them.
Yeah.
Um, and so now we go to Bloom and Will, who is off her rocker. So she tells him that she wishes he wasn't here. She's like, "I wish you never had come and you had just stayed away." And they're discussing how he felt about seeing Hannibal and like some of the like feelings and everything he was having. And then we
Also,
learn, yeah,
say if there's anyone in the world who gets more sexual gratification from a power trip, please tell me who it is.
oh
Because the
my God.
way she said that there are five locks between him and the outside world, and I have the key to all five of them, I was like, girl, orgasm about it. Why don't you?
Yeah. But also like the last time she had the key to his lock. she let him go. Are we
Right.
trusting her with that? I mean, for the best, we saved Will's life, etc. Blah blah blah. He got like,
Right. No, for
but
sure. But man, the sexual desire that she talked about Lux with was
well,
weird.
and this follows up with her conversation with Chilton last week, where it's like we lied to a lot of people. Like clearly they're the ones like pulling all the strings now, and like really her. But like it feels like she's God, I can't tell you. It's a show you haven't seen. But it basically feels like she's like the man behind the like curtain, like pulling all the strings for like
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything because I want to tell you at the show and I can't.
I
So
have no idea
okay.
what you're talking about.
I know. That's why we have to move on because I will ruin everything.
Uh-huh.
Um, so da, 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 da. Oh, so we do learn that she's still with Margot and they have a baby. Um,
And that he is
which we
the
knew was
virgin
coming.
heir.
So they get to keep all the money and she carried him because obviously Margot
Obviously,
cannot.
Margia has no uterus.
Um, and so
But
we
also, ew, but that also means that it
yep,
is genetically her and
Mason's baby,
Mason's baby.
which is better genetically than Mason and
But
Margot, but not great genetics though.
God, the
Like,
psychopathy in that child.
bless his heart, bless his heart. Ugh. So then we go back over to Besties, Hannibal and Will. And
Here's the forecast for tomorrow in Alma.
do
Oh,
you want to hear about the
it's
forecast tomorrow in
7:30.
Alma?
It is
I'm so sorry.
7:30.
Also,
I
weather
should
advisory
probably change the time on that because we do record most of the time then.
10 a.m.
It's really long because we have a cold front coming in because it's like
Yeah.
super cold. Like it was like 30 today. And
Um,
it's reminding me that so will tomorrow.
yeah,
Um,
Brianna texted yesterday a picture of the temperature in Houston, and it said it feels like 20 degrees, actual 39. Wind is making it feel colder, like negative, like 19 degrees.
yeah.
And she goes, help, SOS. I didn't know we did that here. And
Yeah, ours
and
is
I
super windy here.
and I said, yeah, mine I'm still worse than you because yesterday it was 19 degrees with a real feel of 7.
That's also how it was at your wedding, in case you were wondering. I
Yeah.
froze to death. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to.
Today it's 18 with a real feel of 8.
Yeah, it's 39 with a
Oh,
real feel of
sorry.
30.
Sorry. The real feel right now is 4. Sorry, the wind
Mm,
got colder.
excellent, excellent. Yeah,
Great.
our wind is windier. Like our wind, you can hear it. And I have good insulation. Like I say that, and then they have the foghorn from the ships that you can also hear, but that's really loud. I
That
should
is
be
really
able to hear
loud.
wind. It's okay if I hear the boats. Um, Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, "How are you handling that? Is that like weird for you?" And I was like, the first couple of times when I didn't know what was happening, it was weird. But once I figured it out, I was like, it's just another noise. Like I lived in New York for 6 years.
Yeah.
A boat is the least of my problems. Like
True,
I'm
true,
gonna
true.
survive. Anyways, so we're back with besties, and he they're discussing that the tooth fairy may be missing a limb or maybe disabled or something. That's
Yeah.
what's sparking all of this. And Hannibal asked Will if he can picture himself within the tooth fairy as he's killing people because you know Hannibal and
Yeah.
Hannibal knows Hannibal. That's why he told Will not to come. He can't help but antagonize him and just
No.
turn him into a true killer. Um, and so he starts asking him, he's like, how is he choosing? Like, and so Will's asking, he's like, how is he choosing him? And Hannibal's like, how did you choose yours? And it's like, stop it. Answer my questions. You don't get to answer a question with a question. Um, but he also tells Will that he knows better than to breed. So he knows that he's not having children, even if he has this child. And I
Yeah.
was like, you're right. None of you people should be
None
having
of you should be
kids.
having kids.
It's too
No,
late
no
for some
one
of you,
on
but
this show should reproduce.
mm-mm, mm-mm. You know who could have it? Jack and Bella. I think their kid would have turned out okay. Like Jack makes not always the best decisions, but like mentally, I think
Yeah.
he's okay.
Yeah, no, I think he's fine. I think and I think maybe if he had a kid, he would have calmed down and
Oh,
loosened the
for
grips
sure.
on being the guy he is right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it would have been good for him.
Yeah.
Um,
To be
and
honest, I don't
something
think Bella
to
ever wanted kids. It seems like
I
it
don't
would
think
get in the
so
way.
either.
I think it seems like it would get in the way of her lifestyle.
Yeah, which is her character in every show she's in.
Facts.
Um, it is on my list to restart Suits now that they have the spinoff coming out because the guy is it God, what's his name?
I don't know.
I forgot every name I've ever known.
I don't think you could pay me to watch Suits
Why I love it.
because Meghan Markle is a fucking cunt.
Oh no, I love Suits. It's so good.
I just hate her so much.
Well, she's not in all of it. And she's really not the main one either. She's
No.
like in it, but she's not like the main one. Yeah, Stephen Amell, that's his name, is playing the
Oh,
lead of the spinoff. And
oh,
Victoria Justice is in it. What a
ooh,
wild time. But like
I
Gabriel
love.
Machter will be back in it again. He
I
plays
love.
Harvey in the original.
Is he the cute one with like the mole above his eyebrow? He was
Hmm
in because he's in the movie Because I Said So,
hmm
which
hmm
is one of my
He's in
favorites.
another TV show that I watched that I really liked. But I always get him and Peter. Oh God, I can't remember his name. I don't know. It's lost to me. But because they had Pearson, they had the spinoff of Suits in
Yeah.
2019 that was Jessica's show. And so they had Suits, they had the spinoff, and now they have Suits LA. And I feel like it feels very Good Wife to me. And I'm obsessed with the Good Wife
Mm,
trilogy, we'll call it.
yeah.
Um, and so I feel like I'm gonna really feel the same way about Suits because I really liked it, but it was like I was watching it kind of as it came out, and so I just got behind.
Yeah.
So I need to go rewatch Suits, and I really like the guy who plays the non-lawyer in Suits. I
Okay.
really like him a lot too. So like even if you hate Meghan Markle, I think like if you have any interest at all, like give it a shot. It's a good show. Um, Anyways, why did I say that? Not reading. Oh, Bella.
We're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
ballet. Yeah.
Um, so then they start talking about Hannibal asks why the yards weren't described in the files. He's like, we see the entire house layout, we see like the different elements of the house, we don't see anything about the yards. And Will's like, sure, why? Why does it matter? And he's like, well, I think this guy might have a special relationship with the moon. He's
Yeah.
like, he wants to like go. He was like, have you ever seen blood in the moonlight? Like this guy obviously wants something that has space so he can go out and have privacy still, but have plenty of room. And
I
you just,
I have a big yard with a tall fence, and the idea of someone being naked, covered in blood in my yard is one of the worst thoughts I've ever had.
yeah, yeah, it's not great. It's not great, but theoretically they've killed you first and it's your blood, so you don't actually have to experience it.
Which is fair, but my neighbor across the street, who is probably the only one other than my next door neighbor who could actually see into my yard, is a pastor.
Ooh.
And
So he could
that,
pray for your soul.
yeah. So,
Mm.
I don't, yeah, it gives me the ick.
Maybe he'll turn like real exorcism vibes and go
Mm.
after him.
Well, he is from a full Calvary Gospel church, which means
See?
they speak tongues over there.
Yeah, so he could do it. He could do it. So
Okay.
you live by the right person if someone were to kill you and stand in your blood in the moonlight in your backyard. I
Done.
mean, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Fingers crossed.
That would be best. But if it did,
Mostly, I'm sad because of the Tooth Fairy hurts pets first, and if anybody touched Pip,
I know it's a real bummer. Yeah. We get our first glimpse of Freddie Lowndes taking pictures of Will
oh,
leaving
Freddie.
Mental Institute. As much as I hated her in the beginning, I love the drama. I cannot. I love the drama. It's
She's
wonderful.
she's professionally petty at the level I personally am petty.
Yeah, that's my dream. This week, I have spiraled so much. I'm so sorry. This week, I the guy who trains me, bless his heart, is a very nice person, and he is very nice to the people that we work with. And I'm a very direct person. And so sometimes it stresses him out when I send emails when I'm mad at people. They're very professional. They're
Always.
very pleasant, but they're very direct. And they're very
Yeah.
much, you messed this up. You have to stop messing this up. Please go fix it. That is pretty much what my emails say, but like in a professional way.
Yeah.
And he likes to proofread our emails before we send them because we're new and he has to make sure that they sound right. I don't know. I don't ask questions. I'm like, sure, proofread my emails. And then he was like, I don't know. We have to let the supervisor read it, make sure it's okay to send. He was like, but I appreciate your sternness. And I was like, that does not sound like a compliment. But also it was not that harsh of an email. I was just like, hey, we had to call the parent and they told us that the location had changed and we really need you to keep up with your billing sheets and change the location when it changes so that we are posting billing correctly. Okay, thanks. Like that was basically the email.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, like he's like, I just want to play nice with them. And I'm like, I want them to call me and be mad about it. Like, I don't care if they hate me. I don't need them to, because it doesn't affect my job if they hate me. It affects their pay if they decide not to do their job. Like, they have to do what I say or they don't get paid.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the information to post it. And it's not like I'm withholding pay. I'm a post it. The whole point is I'm mad because you won't send me your stuff so I can give you your money. Like, that's the whole point. So, but I sure did. I told him, I was like, because I'll send an email. They respond back and they're like, I already did that. And I just send them the same email back. They've called Jalea on me multiple times. Like, people get mad at me all the time. And I'm just like, look, I don't know. Everyone's been like nice to you, I guess, and like treated you like a child. They're all in their 20s. All of our BCBAs are in their 20s. I don't have it. I told you I said I don't have time for that. I said I don't care if they hate me. It's okay. So yes, I too would like to be petty for a living, which I guess I will be if I start doing law again.
Right. True.
That's like the requirement, I think. So Bloom and Hannibal are now chatting it up. And she's telling him he doesn't have Will's best interest in mind. And he's like, oh, no, I do. I told him not to come. I mean, now that he's here, of course I'm going to do some nonsense. But I did tell him not to come. I was like, no, these are not the same. You aren't just responsible when he's not in your presence, but okay. But also, she's wrong too. He does have his best interest in mind. He just doesn't act on it when he's in person.
Also, he does, except that he doesn't know what that is. Like, he absolutely 150% has Will's best interest in mind. His just idea of good and bad is so skewed that it's not actually what's best for Will. It's just he believes is best for Will, which is not the same thing as being deliberately manipulative.
Right. Which he is with a lot of people, but not with Will.
Not with Will. He just has no concept of good and evil.
Right. Yeah. So, so he tells her that he advised against it, and Bloom basically just talks about how she's in control of Hannibal. She's like,
it's poking the bear, in my opinion.
God. She's like, I know you're most afraid of indignity, so like, you screw up, I'm gonna make you like lose all of your dignity, every bit of it. And I was like, that is just rude. And like, sure, if anybody deserves it, it's Hannibal. However,
I don't know that Bloom's the one I want to give him justice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if Will said that, Will would never say that because it's a horrible thing to say to someone.
Right.
And maybe that's what it is. Like, the people that would say it are the people that don't deserve to say it.
It's because everyone is morally gray and not in the sexy romantic way.
Yeah. I might would let Bedelia get away with it. She's not right either, but like,
no, yeah.
I would be okay if she was the one saying it.
If she tried to, if Bedelia or Will or Jack or honestly even Margot, tried to ruin Hannibal's life, I would accept it. And Margot, the reason I say Margot is because truthfully, Margot has never made her own decision in any of the situations we've seen her in. She's always either been under Mason's influence, under Hannibal's influence, or under Alana's influence. She has never once been, she has been a victim from every angle.
Her whole life.
From every angle, her whole life. So if she finally got the balls to stand up and say, I'm going to make sure that you feel as undignified as I have felt, I would even give that to her. Unless it was Alana doing it through her. Then I would take it back.
Right. Totally fair. Totally fair.
But
Just don't have mom.
Bedelia and Will really are the only two
They've earned it.
who have any claim to really truly
Yeah.
destroy Hannibal the way, which I guess is weird to say because he did try to kill Alana and Jack. I get it.
But
But
the thing is, like, Jack and Will and Bedelia's response was, I never want to see you again. And Bloom's was like, I'm gonna watch you and dangle all of
yeah,
your like things you want
yeah.
in front of you for the rest of your
Bloom's was
life.
like, let me masturbate to the with the keys that hold you in this
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. It's just she's team too much. Um, yeah. So then we go over to Abigail and Hannibal. We're back to a flashback, and he's teaching her how to strengthen her scent. He wants her to be able to like smell things like he does. And I'm like, you're training a mini Hannibal. And to be fair, I knew she was a little whacked out, but like, I didn't realize how far. Like, I think she could be Hannibal if she was
Yeah,
like a bit smarter.
yeah.
Like, she
But
has the tendencies.
well, I mean, again, nature versus nurture. It's really
Right.
fascinating because I think that Will is like Hannibal because that is who he is and he can't help it
Mhm.
and he doesn't want to be. Abigail is like Hannibal because she was trained to be by
Right.
both her father and
And
Hannibal.
Hannibal.
She
Hmm.
doesn't
Yeah.
have, and she was too young to ever have a personality, opinion, or morality outside of that.
Right. And she tells him that like her father never loved her. And he's like, no, no,
Oh
your
my God.
father did everything he did out of love for you. And I was
This,
like,
when he said some people just love differently, I was like, the problem
those are
is,
called toxic exes.
right, but I
Like,
was like, but the
bro,
problem is, he 100% believes that. Like
I know.
he's not even gaslighting her at this point. He is so fucked up that he truly believes that that's how you love someone, by doing what is
Hmm.
best for them in your worldview. And that is bonk.
Bonkers. Yeah. Yeah. It's so wild. And then we have her dad's body there,
Yeah,
which I wasn't
the
expecting.
fact that he dug up the body, because he was like, "Do you smell your dad in the room?" And I was like, "That's creepy." And then the camera panned, and I go, "Oh no, like that's like legit
That was a
creepy."
legitimate question. Yeah. Yeah. And so then she cut his throat like he cut hers. And he says, never be ashamed of who you are, Abigail.
Because that's how we deal with our trauma.
Look, if that's how we dealt with our trauma, this world will be a much different place. Um,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we are not all serial killers.
Is it
So we,
unfortunate though?
I don't know, bro. Some days I think it'd be easier
Easier,
if you
yes.
could just like kill everyone that bothered you. But I don't have it in me.
Yeah, but like, okay, if you go too far with this eye for an eye thing, like, yes, someone who hurt me, I get to hurt them. But what if somebody hurts me, so I get to hurt them, but then they have a partner, and their partner's response is that, oh, you hurt my partner, so I get to hurt your
Oh,
partner.
no,
And
no.
then,
I'm not doing eye for an eye. I'm doing
but
serial killer
no, I
mentality.
know, but I'm just saying, like, if we look at it in
Yeah.
the point of view of like, that's how you deal with your trauma, it would
Yeah.
never end because every negative occurrence would be someone else's trauma. And so the world would literally just be nothing but people hurting each other.
Yeah, but nature would be so healthy. Could you imagine? We would do so much good for the world. Look,
I
I'm
just
obviously not going to kill anyone. I can't even like
I
cook
just like
dinner.
immediately imagined all of my ex's current partners touching Dan, like as response for that, and I mama beared the shit out of that. I was like, absolutely not. That because I've had some fucked up exes, and if I did to them what they did to me, and then their partners decided it was their duty to then hurt my husband, no, I don't want to live in this world.
No, that would be too much.
Too, too much.
Oh, bless it. Yeah. So now we're at a dinner party, that we've just come back to. And at first I was real confused. I was like, am I still in a commercial? I was not.
Oh, because my Amazon doesn't have commercials, so I was
Oh,
confused.
yeah. I have commercials, so I was confused. And so we're with what I imagine is the Tooth Fairy's family. Um, they didn't, I don't know if it was the family he was killing or his actual family. I honestly couldn't really tell.
I
So
don't remember this scene.
it was a family dinner. It was just weird. That's all it was. It was a dinner party. And then we move on and we have Will watching videos.
What? I
Yeah.
genuinely have no recollection of this scene
It was
at all.
very short and it did not fit into the episode.
Cool.
I literally
Cool.
rewound because I was like, is this the commercial? And then I paused here and came back and finished the episode later and still was like, oh, we'll see if that's right. And then I started, I was like, what show am I watching?
Well, no, because I do remember the scenes with him with the Tooth Fairy looking at the newspaper articles, and I know he was
That's
eating.
next.
I know he was eating at that time, but
Yeah.
I do not
No,
remember
no,
this.
no. This was like a full, like almost Victorian dinner party. Like it was not quite Victorian, but the lighting was Victorian.
Where the fuck was I?
I don't know. But then we go to Will watching videos of everything. And then we
Cool.
go over to the Tooth Fairy with the projector video. Um, and it looks like he's attached to something or has a tail. We're getting like the dragon in full force. Any of this ring a bell?
Nope. None of this rings a
Okay,
bell.
cool. What about when we go to the lab and we find the animal in the box? Did you
Did I?
watch this episode?
Was that when the guys were talking, like Price
Yeah,
and Zeller were talking about?
yeah.
Absolutely. I saw that scene.
Okay.
Nothing between Abigail killing her dead father and Price and Zeller talking do I have
Oh,
a memory of.
interesting. They were very short scenes, but they were
Okay,
very strange and they were very out of place. So
cool.
maybe you were just like, this doesn't make sense. This isn't the show.
Maybe my brain just flushed them out because I don't take
Yeah,
notes during Hannibal.
right.
So if I looked at my phone at all, or like my brain just moved
Yeah,
them. Yeah. Nope.
it's very
Great.
possible.
Great.
Um, yeah. So then we go to the lab and we have the dead pet buried in the box. We learn that this is where we learn that he kills the pets first, but he like buries them in a nice little burial thing. And Zeller's upset because we
Yeah.
learn that he is more fond of cats than children.
Yes, that was one of my favorite lines.
It was really kind
I'm very fond of cats. I am not very fond of children.
right. And Will comes up and he says that they should be reaching out to all of the vets to see if there are like injured pets and see like,
Mhm.
which I do hear it. I don't understand it. He's killing the pets and burying them.
No.
So like,
So the no. He did not. He's not the one who buried the cat.
oh, the family
The
did.
family buried the cat, but the other family, it was a dog.
And they let the dog go.
And here's the thing, not to like disparage anybody, but
Right.
cat families are more likely to not take their cat to the vet, just let them die peacefully and bury them in their backyard themselves. Whereas dog families are going to spend unnecessary amounts of money to take their dog to the vet. So if he injured or poisoned the cat got sick, died, family said, oh, that's so sad, let's bury Fluffy in the backyard. Dog family, dog got sick, they took them to the vet. So he's saying, we found cat buried in the backyard. We did not find dog. Dog family had dog. Check all the vets locally to see where dog family's dog is.
I missed that. I missed that.
It wasn't explained. It's just more of a psychological understanding of
Yeah.
the difference between cat people
That
and dog
makes
people.
sense. That makes sense.
Like I've had a pet for 3 years. I've had Pit and Bow. I've never taken to a vet. Never. Because it's just a reptile. And if you know how to take care of a reptile, unless they get sick, exotic vets are unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah.
So she's never seen a vet, ever. I don't even know what vet I would take her to here. I'm sure you have taken Sadie to the vet much more than that.
She needs to go back again.
Yeah. Because dogs are different. So
Mm.
that was the logic behind that. It was like clearly he poisoned the cat and the family took care of it. But if he poisoned the
Right.
dog, where is the dog now?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yes.
But so next we go to Will in the woods, and he comes out to Freddie, who was trying to talk to him. And we learn that while he was in the hospital, she took a pic of him passed out in a coma, which is not cool, Freddie, but good journalism, I guess.
He said to show everyone this my colostomy bag. And
Yeah.
she goes, I put a box over your manhood. A rather large box, you're welcome. I was like,
I know. And he tells her, he's like, I wasn't dead yet. Or he said something about like, I wasn't dead. And she was like, you weren't dead enough. Like, it's like, that's not, we don't tell people they're not dead enough. Um, and then she also insinuates that Bloom has made a deal with Hannibal. And that's why she's come to power. And honestly, I don't hate that theory.
no, me either.
Because she lied about something. He's not dead. He's in a mental institute that he has like the world on his string.
Correct.
She's in charge. Like, really feels like
Yeah.
something's been worked out. So then we go to the Tooth Fairy, and this is where he's reading the story about Hannibal and Will. And he goes to visit Reba, and he's asking her for infrared movie film. And she's like, oh, it's really like finicky. Like you can always like bring it to me and I can help you with it or whatever. And they chat for a bit. And then he sees her at the bus stop and he picks her up and she's like, oh, I wait for the bus all the time. And he's like, no, I want you to ride me for my pleasure, which is from the film.
Yes.
They're trying to really recreate these scenes. They're just really awkward.
They are awkward. I didn't hate it. But Dan, because there's not a lot of good explanation at this point yet, Dan was so confused and he didn't really pay attention. And then he just goes, is she blind? I said,
Yeah.
yes. And he goes,
Yes, she is.
oh, okay, got it now. I was like,
Every time he asks a new question, I forget that he hasn't seen this season. Bless his heart. Because he hadn't seen the movies either, has he?
no.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he picks her up and they start chatting, and she says that she wanted to do speech therapy and all this different stuff. And
she can tell that he's had speech therapy because of,
yeah,
but she understands him.
And she tells him that he speaks really well, which is really nice of her.
Yeah.
And she also says that the reason that she likes him is because she can feel that he doesn't pity her.
Yes.
That he just sees her like a person.
Which is kind of the whole basis for their relationship in general because it goes both ways. She can't see him, so she can't see what he thinks is ugly about himself, which, once again, don't think they cast somebody as well for this because he's not unattractive. But only the first movie could you really tell that he was disfigured.
Yeah.
But so he hates himself because of what he looks like and she can't see him.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
and so when they're talking about it, she's like, I want to be able to feel if you're smiling. And he's like, you're just gonna have to trust me because he won't let her touch his face, obviously.
Yeah.
And so we pop back over to Will and he calls Molly and she's telling him about their new dog they have, Randy, because they just take in all of these dogs all the time.
Yeah.
And they have playful banter. And he tells her about the dog that he has taken in, which is like it's nice that they take in dogs, but it feels like a nightmare to just constantly be taking in pets all the time. And it's like, I have a pet. And it's like, I can't have 10 dogs. I love dogs. Obviously, I have Sadie. I love dogs. I am not one of those people that can have 10 dogs.
No.
I don't know that I could have 2 dogs.
No,
definitely not 10.
I have a friend who like helps with foster animals, but also then has her own pets. And like, I swear to God, between cats and dogs and reptiles, she has like 16 animals in her house.
See, I feel like I could foster a pet with my pet.
Yeah.
I could have 2, but that's it.
I could have Pip and then another single one moving around active pet. Like I could have a dog or a cat with my lizard. And that's about as much as I can handle.
Yeah, it's just a lot of responsibility. Like, it's a lot. And people seem to know that. But it's a lot of responsibility. Yeah, so they've got millions of dogs now. And he gets off the phone and falls asleep, and he starts having dreams again. And he dreams about the murder, like it makes the body a butterfly. And he wakes up in a sweat, like the old days.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are back again.
Mm-hmm.
We jump over to the precinct, and Jack visits Hannibal. Um, and it turns out Jack already knew that he sent Will the letter because they intercept everything and read it before they send it on. Um, and Hannibal starts chastising him for letting Will help with this case.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what happened last time? Why would you bring him back into this? And I'm like, you two. You two are ridiculous.
You're like divorced
Um,
dads. They're divorced
exactly.
dads fighting over custody of their child.
They're doing the exact same thing. They're each doing the exact same thing. But fun fact about this scene, Hannibal says that he never expected to see Jack Crawford again or to see Crawford again. And it turns out because in Manhunter and Red Dragon, they never actually see each other in those movies. So this was supposed to be kind of like an homage to that. But then we go to Hannibal, and he's back in the days before they're running away, and he gets a phone call, and that all they say is "Fear not," and he tells Abigail they're coming. And Abigail's like, "We got to go," and he's like, "No, we're waiting on Will." Um, and then
Did he say fear not?
Mhm,
Oh.
that's what I thought he
I thought
said.
it was the phone call that he got from Will in the first place. Like in the season 2 finale.
No, because he said we're waiting on Will. Because he says we can't leave yet. We're waiting on Will. So I don't think that was the call from Will.
I thought it was because remember Will called Hannibal ahead of time to
Yeah.
warn him. I thought that was the phone call.
I don't know, but he did say fear not,
Mm.
whoever it was. Um, but yeah, so we learn that she's going to hunt with him as well, and then we go back to Hannibal today, and a nurse, I don't know what they're called in this institute run by Bloom, um, brings him the phone and says it's his attorney, which God bless his attorney, whoever that happens to be, which we'll
Yeah.
never know, but God bless him. Um, and instead, it's the Tooth Fairy, and he is talking to Hannibal, and he says his name is Red Dragon, and that's the end of the.
Um, it is the phone call from Will.
Is it? But he
Yeah.
says fear not, right? I'm not crazy.
I don't remember. I feel like now I have to look at what he says in the actual season 2 finale.
We don't know what he says in the season 2 finale, I
When he
thought.
calls him?
Yeah. I thought we didn't hear the phone call. I thought we just see that he makes a call. Did I
No,
make that up?
he says they know.
Why did I hear fear not?
I don't know, but it's definitely they know because that's the same thing Hannibal said to Abigail's dad.
Hmm.
It's they
Here, Jacob
know.
Hobbs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's just they know.
Interesting. Yep, I heard wrong then.
Okay. That's why I was like, hold on, that doesn't sound. I missed 2 entire
Yeah.
scenes of the episode, but I definitely know what the phone call said.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had my
Captions on, the captions were wrong.
yeah.
I remember seeing that the captions were wrong when that happened.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
that's what it was. Because I for sure can't hear. So
Mm.
can't really see either. So who's to say what's going on? But yeah, so what were your thoughts?
This was the first episode that I felt like we were watching Hannibal again. I really enjoyed it. I am excited by the balance that they had of Hannibal and Will drama to Tooth Fairy drama. I think that this is the pace that I was hoping that they were telling the story at.
Yeah.
Uh, I am excited to see what comes next. I am really fucking over Alana. But I felt that way since season 1, so like that's not new.
Right.
I think the
It's
first
just a
time
new different reason.
yeah, I think the first time I met her, I was like, oh, she's kind of annoying.
Mhm.
Um, I do like that they are involving Jack with Hannibal in the way that the original story didn't, because I don't think this version of Hannibal exists without that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm I did. There was a couple unnecessary scenes in this episode, but it was either that or move the
But you
story.
didn't watch them anyways, so that's okay.
That. Well, the scene with him and Molly, I was like, okay, I get what
Yeah.
they're doing. I get what they're doing. I
They're
understand why it's
trying to
important,
make us feel things about Molly
but
before
we
she
don't.
almost dies. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was probably my favorite of the season.
For sure, for sure. It feels like the right show again. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I didn't love it. It's not like 9.8 stars for me or anything, but I did like
Yeah.
it. And it makes me feel like my cautious optimism was
Not
in
unfounded.
play. Right,
Yeah.
right. So, I don't have any other trivia for you other than my trivia about Jack and Hannibal. So sorry about it. But who do you want to punch this episode?
Alana.
I know, she's the one. Um, but because you have punched Alana, um, yes, I'm gonna punch the Tooth Fairy. Like, I mean, he's really starting stuff up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Hannibal didn't do anything like out of pocket this episode, I guess. Like,
In
so
flashbacks, he did.
right. But like, I feel like we punched him for that already.
Fair.
So
Fair.
I'm gonna go with Tooth Fairy. Um, but yeah, so who is your MVP then?
Well, other than the fact that quite literally no one is really a good person, I'm gonna go with Reba.
Yeah, she's the right choice. She's the right choice for sure. Um, but
If
since you
only
went
if
with
only
her,
someone had been that nice to Francis, I don't know, 2 decades ago, maybe he would be a murderer.
maybe he would be killing people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you went with her, I'm gonna go with Freddie. She did not do anything good this
No.
episode. She was a bad person the whole time.
Yeah.
However,
Honestly, if Reba hadn't had that really nice conversation with Francis and kind of like showed us what her nature is, which is why him eventually killing her is tragic, or trying to
right.
kill her, or whatever, whichever version of the ending that they
Whichever
go with.
version they choose, yeah.
But if it hadn't been her, I would have either gone with Freddie or Zeller just for their quotes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
No question. Yeah. Well, that's our episode. We are on episode 9, so we have 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 4 episodes left of this season. Um, here's hoping. Just hoping to a good season ending. Um, we know it has not been renewed and people are upset, which means we're probably going to get a bit of a cliffhanger. Even if we do get something out of closure, we're not probably going to get all of it.
Nope.
And that's fine, I guess. But yeah, so stay tuned for that and join us on Sunday for Sci-Fi Sunday. In the meantime, thoughts, feelings, any of those things, you can email us deathandaliens@gmail.com. Find us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can find me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And we'll see you on Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.